And I'm Suze, and welcome to Edubofs,
where you will find tips for teachers and help for your students.
Of course, we would love if you could click that little red subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification so that you get notifications of when we post a new video, which is usually on a Saturday around 9 a.m. We would also love it if you give this video a thumbs up and go and check us out on all the socials. Links are in the description box below.
School's in!
It is.
And it is so hard to sit still and concentrate after that holiday.
No idea what you're talking about. No idea. I don't, what? Of course, this is what we're facing every single day. Kids are coming in, some of them are ready to learn, some of them are super fidgety, and they're full of energy. They've had a 2-week break, and they're bouncing off the walls because they're just so excited to see their friends, and they want to tell you about their holidays, and they just want to talk, and they want to move, and they want to talk to everyone else. And what's the point of trying to squash that energy? You're not going to be able to do it. Trust me. There's no getting rid of that energy, especially Year 7. They are off the charts at the moment.
And some teachers.
Yeah, a little bit. But instead of trying to squash their energy, how about as teachers we try and take that energy and channel it into something that we find useful for them in the classroom? So doing things like incorporating just that little bit of extra intentional movement into your lesson, just to make your lessons that little bit extra.
Great mind, Suze. I have moved into a new room.
I know, I'm so jealous. I've seen the photo. It's not fair. I want one.
You'll have to move. I have no comeback for that. So I have moved into a new room, and I have got big whiteboards at the back of the room. I'm also teaching biology in that room, and I find that students really struggle with new vocabulary. So I decided with my Year 10s to get them during my opening activity, which was a video, to jot down in their Cornell notebooks any new word that they didn't know the meaning of. I didn't ask them to try and define it or anything, that they just had to jot down the new word. I then got them all up, sent them to the back of the room, and got them to write those words on those big whiteboards, which I can see from where I'm teaching.
So that then enables you to see who knows what and who needs that little bit extra.
That's correct. And it worked a charm. The kids loved it.
So with my Year 9 class this week, I decided to incorporate a little bit of that intentional movement. My 9's less likely to be, as jumping beanie as my Year 7's can be, but I wanted to get them out of their seats anyway because they were still chatting the whole time. So what I did yesterday with my 2 lessons is, in the first lesson, we'd already done a little bit of Pythagoras already. So I wanted to kind of get a little bit more prior knowledge out of them. So I gave every student a sticky note, and on the board I wrote down, is this a right triangle? Didn't draw a picture. Is this a right triangle or right angle triangle? And I wrote down the side lengths, side 1, side 2, side 3, and then underneath I wrote prove it. Students then had to draw the triangle and label it. They had to they had to use Pythagoras' theorem to prove it was, or disprove it was, a right angle triangle. And then they had to write a statement sentence.
And that was on the sticky note.
And that was on the sticky note. Then they all came up when they were finished and they stuck it on the board. That way I had 26 odd sticky notes on the board exactly where I could see it. They all got to get up out of their seat. And I noticed that only 2 kids got it wrong, and those 2 kids were kids who were absent from the day before.
That's brilliant. So you could actually ascertain that they'd actually learned.
That's it. And then of course the 2 who got it wrong, and I was like, well, what did I do wrong there? And realised that no, they hadn't been there for the original lesson.
Which allows you to do that Tier 1 intervention.
Yes, that's right. Then I did the worked example of the actual triangle on the board, and then the kids, they helped me, obviously. They'd have to call out answers and stuff. Then they had to come get their sticky note. If it was correct, well, they all had to stick them in their books. If they were correct, that was it. If they were incorrect, they then had to copy out the worked example. The other thing that I made them do is, if they didn't set it out correctly or easy to read, they had to redo it in the way I set it out.
So good.
They really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, something just a little bit
different. And it took all of less than 10 minutes. And then that set the tone for the rest of the lesson. They worked really, really well after that. The second lesson was far more out of your seat, noisy, but not too noisy. They were pretty good. So what I did was we moved on to finding the length of a side using Pythagoras. I did a couple of examples on the board and I left them there. And then around the room I had 9 word problems to do with Pythagoras, finding a hypotenuse or finding a leg. I had them blue tacked up all the way around the room, 9 questions. Each student got a answer sheet with 9 boxes and it had instructions. They had to draw the diagram according to what it says. So just the triangle or the rectangle or whatever. They had to show all the working out. Right. They had to then also write a statement of, so if how long is the ladder, therefore the ladder is this long. So trying to teach them to do that. So they got up and they walked around the room. Some worked on their own, some worked in pairs, some would just go to whoever was there and they'd have a discussion about it. The discussions were fantastic. And they could go wherever they wanted to go. They didn't have to go from one all the way through.
I do think that when we give them that little bit of flexibility, it just encourages them to know that, you know, it's not prison, it's school, it's learning.
And to be honest, I was walking around the room the entire time, you know, giving hints. If they needed help, I could do it for them. Not a single student's conversation was off task. So students who I knew would finish, they finished. Students who I knew would do the bare minimum actually did more than I thought they would, which was really good. And then the students who had been away did far less. I do have NCCV students in my class, so I do have to make modifications for those students. They're on an IEP. So instead of them getting up and walking around the room and doing the same 9 questions, because that sets their anxiety off a little bit, is I gave them a modified answer sheet with only 4 boxes, and I had 4 questions written in the boxes for them. So they didn't have to move. They could go sit outside if they were comfortable with that, or take it to learning support. But then I could see what they could do as well.
And they still had the option to move if they felt comfortable.
So I had one student finish and she said, "Miss, what can I do now?" And I said, "You can choose to go and answer the questions around the walls, or we can do some textbook work." She chose textbook work because movement makes her anxious. But in the end, she got every single question right. There were no problems at all.
Sounds like a brilliant lesson.
The kids all left with smiles on their faces because when we did Fist of 5, most of them had a 5.
You're going to have to explain Fist of 5 in another video. But meantime, high five.
You! Woo! Week 1. Done and dusted. Right, yay! 9 more weeks to go.
And then we start again.
That's it. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a thumbs up, click on that little subscribe button and share with all of your friends. We love our subscribers and we would really love to hear from you. Please leave comments in the comments box below. If you have any other ideas for intentional movement in your classroom, we would love to know about it because this is currently my favorite thing. Favorite thing.
And we're always learning, lifelong learners.
That's right. Oh, talk about lifelong learning. Little bit extra for you. I learned something on the calculator that I didn't know.
Wow!
That was really exciting. My kids thought I was nuts because I was going, "Did you know it does this?" And then when they figured out they didn't know that it did that, they got excited too.
That's amazing.
Just thought you all want to know that even teachers can learn something every day.
Yeah, well, that's it from us today, and we'll see you next week.
All right, see ya.